An outpouring of community support and families mourning after a fatal shooting spree in Missoula. Multiple victims were wounded in a tragic shooting spree Thursday night and into Friday morning. One person is dead and 3 others are wounded from the shooting. One of those victims, Montana Highway Patrol Trooper Wade Palmer, is continuing to recover in a Salt Lake City hospital tonight. On Friday, Palmer was shot while still in his patrol car near the Avaro Bar by Jonathan Birch, who faces 1 count of deliberate homicide and 3 counts of attempted deliberate homicide in connection to the shootings. The other victims, Julie and Casey Blanchard, last we heard, are still recovering from their injuries in the attack, and a male victim, Shelly Hayes, died from his injuries. Trooper Wade Palmer was originally sent to St. Patrick's Hospital in Missoula. Later, he was life flown to a Salt Lake City hospital for treatment for his gunshot wounds. These pictures were taken from the motorcade in Missoula, where hundreds of law enforcement officers from all different agencies gathered for one of their own.
We've reached out to make sure that they have rooms and places to stay anytime they're hungry. We can run off and get food and just make sure we can make this as, so they can focus on the one thing they want to focus on.
And back here in Montana, the Highway Patrol continue to keep us updated with Trooper Palmer's conditions. Today, they released the following statement in regards to the massive flood of support for the patrol. They say, "We have been completely overwhelmed at the massive outpouring of love and kindness extended not just to the Palmers, but to the entire MHP extended family. It's hard to articulate our gratitude adequately in words, and a simple thank you hardly seems like enough, but even so, thank you." Palmer, who is a resident of Stevensville, is also receiving words of encouragement from the community and the mayor, Brandon Dewey, saying the strength of our community has again been challenged by tragedy and sadness. He also said Trooper Wade Palmer represents the best of our town and the state of Montana with his bravery and courage in his law enforcement career, especially in Friday morning's Missoula incident. We embolden the Stevensville community to keep these people in your caring thoughts during this period of healing and recovery. The mayor also says that the Stevensville Police Department is offering help and resources to the Montana Highway Patrol. And we have reached out to the AG's office to get an update on the investigation, along with more information on the victims. We have not heard back yet. As for now, GoFundMe accounts have been set up for Trooper Wade Palmer, Shelly Hayes, and Casey Blanchard. The biggest issue before the 2019 Montana legislature, Medicaid expansion, had its first committee hearing today in Helena. Hundreds of people showed up at the Capitol, both for the day-long hearing and a pro-Medicaid rally. MTN's Mike Dennison was there and files this report.
The crowd started gathering early for Saturday's dual hearing before the House Human Services Committee on the 2 competing bills that would continue Medicaid expansion, the $750 million a year program that provides government-funded health coverage to nearly 100,000 low-income adults in Montana. First up was House Bill 425, which extends the coverage with few changes. The sponsor, Democratic State Representative Mary Cafaro of Helena, began her testimony by acknowledging the huge crowd in favor and talking about the 3-year-old program's success in bringing health coverage to thousands of poor Montanans.
We, in 2015, passed a monumental piece of legislation that has created better health outcomes all over the state, rural and urban.
More than 4 hours later, the panel began its hearing on House Bill 658, the Republican alternative from Representative Ed Buttrey of Great Falls, who sponsored the original bill in 2015. Buttrey said the program has done much good, but that his bill will improve it for enrollees and the taxpayers paying the tab.
That we can get more people self-sufficient, that we can create more jobs, and we can do so in a way that applies and assures to the taxpayers of Montana that their money is being spent in the most responsible way possible.
The Buttrey bill would require many program participants to log 20 hours of community engagement, which is a job or other activities. Most people came to Helena to support Cafaro's bill and Medicaid expansion. Native Americans said it's been a huge boon for health care on Indian reservations, enabling tribes to expand services and offer prevention instead of just treating symptoms.
It has done wonders, and it's more than just Indian country. These are your most sensitive population. These are your most vulnerable people in your guys' district that this affects.
Dentist Joanna Whaley of Livingston said that dental coverage has helped scores of people who previously couldn't afford care to get things like dentures.
Without teeth, people are relegated to backroom stocking, dishwashing, or simple unemployment. It is hard to get a job if you do not have front teeth.
But many of those for Cafero's bill oppose the Buttry bill, saying its additional requirements would end up disqualifying thousands of people.
Community engagement or work requirement will be an artificial barrier to health coverage that will cause people to lose coverage, not because they don't want to work, but because it is so administratively complex to get through there. Some people will throw up their hands and give up.
And there were those who opposed the entire program, calling it socialism and saying the country can't afford it.
We're really adopting a socialist-type program. That there's one thing that's very interesting about socialism is that it's never succeeded. All we have to do is look at Greece and then recently Venezuela.
I don't know if any minds were changed Saturday by the testimony we heard, but if one thing was made clear, it's that Medicaid expansion has had a huge impact on the healthcare landscape of Montana. Now it's up to the committee and the rest of the legislature to decide what the program may look like in the future. At the Capitol, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Mike says the committee, which is controlled by Republicans, is scheduled to take its first votes on the bills on Friday. And turning now to weather with Rob Griggs, and we are smiling because there's sunshine.
Oh man, is there ever sunshine? Well, not right now, but I mean, it's coming back though.
It's looking good.
It's looking great. The temperature's been warming up steadily, and although we've been below average for, 42 days in a row, it's looking up by the time we hit spring on Wednesday. 37 degrees right now in Billings, and it's just a beautiful evening out there. How warm did it get today? 46 degrees, 3 shy of our average high, and that gives you a little better idea of kind of where we've been falling here for the past 42 days, below average. No precipitation. We're behind for the month. We're still ahead for the year. Here's our quick look at the day planner for sunny O'Day, St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. 46 degrees for a high, but not before we hit 25 degrees and partly cloudy skies overnight. So we have St. Patrick's Day weather to talk about. We've got the first day of spring to talk about, and a gorgeous but somewhat troublesome melting condition work week to talk about. All of that coming up in just a little bit. Zoe?
All right, thanks, Rob. Well, shamrocks and sunshine, although St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow, many came out for a 40-year Billings tradition today. The senior high school drum corps marched down the main parade route, and there were close to 50 groups who participated in the parade. The parade is traditionally held on the Saturday closest to St. Patrick's Day, and a big turnout, about 3,000, came out for the parade and Celtic Fair.
The hope of spring. I think we're all feeling lucky today that there is no more sub-zero temperatures. We're doing a lot of tribute to Pug Mahones because this year's the first year Pug Mahones isn't available. The Celtic Fair, it's a street party too. We really want people to enjoy the streets of downtown, the merchants of downtown. We want people to really feel this as their home.
Well, from day to night, Billings didn't stop the St. Patrick's Day celebrations. Q2's Mitch Laggy is downtown with the Billings Caledonian pipes and drums to ring in the holiday.
That's right, Zoe. I'm standing outside of the former Pug Mahones location where the Billings Caledonian Pipes and Drums just finished up their performance of Amazing Grace to honor the late owner, Bill McIntyre. McIntyre was a prominent member of the Billings community. He died January 12th this year. Pug Mahones is usually the last stop for the Caledonian Band on their annual St. Patrick's Day tour. This is the first time in many years that Billings has been without Pug Mahones for St. Patrick's Day. The band wanted to pay tribute to Mac because he always treated the band very well. After this, the band packed up the bus and headed to Montana Brewing Company to end tonight's shows. And in light of the recent news about Montana Highway Patrol Trooper Wade Palmer, the band was also collecting donations for his family. Zoe, back to you.
Thanks so much, Mitch. And thank you for watching the 10 o'clock news here on Q2. The death toll is rising after the break. We have the latest on the terrorist attack in New Zealand, developing details and more coming up. And later in sports, do the Grizz get to grab their dancing shoes again? We go to Boise for the Big Sky Championship.
You're watching MTN News with Zoe Zandora. Storm tracker weather with Rob Griggs. And sports with Casey Conlon. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.